What is going on, beautiful beings and conscious co-creators? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and clicking on that button to click on this video. I appreciate every single one of you beautiful beings that has stuck with me, rocked with me. So much gratitude and appreciation I'm sending your way. Okay, so we're doing a divine feminine reading today. I am very excited because today's video I actually meditated on before I came to my little setup. So I'm excited to, share with you guys the messages that I was getting through my meditation of these cards from Spirit. First thing is I heard a song. And I've been very sensitive to music lately, and I'm not 100% sure why, but I'm rolling with it. I'm flowing with it. I've just been gravitating towards music so much. So, I heard a song during my meditation, and it's very funny because before I tell you the song, I do this all the time in my storytelling, sorry, but before I tell you what the song is, I want to let you guys know that, if you're new around here, I don't really subscribe to labels, right? So I don't really like to call myself one particular thing. And the reason why I don't like to do that is because people begin to confine you to that specific title. And so I have found it more freeing and liberating to just not subscribe to a title, i.e. a box. For another person's benefit or gain, or so that another person can make sense in their world and reality as to what I am, what I do, blase, blase. So I don't really subscribe to titles. I also prefer to just kind of live a little, am I kicking the camera? Sorry. I prefer to live like freely. So I just do what makes me feel good, what makes sense, what brings me joy. And one of the things that I really enjoy is listening to music that, listening to gospel music, listening to Christian music, right? Now, this is music that I've been listening to since I was a child, since I was a little girl. The reason why I listen to Christian music, and the specific music that I listen to, I don't listen to all Christian music, it's very specific music. The reason why is because the energy behind that music, the soul in a lot of those songs that I listen to, it's so pure. It's so pure. You can get energy from anything. And I feel like for me, a lot of times I have a whole playlist specifically of, tailored Christian songs that just when I listen to it, I feel better. I also use Christian music in my work, in my ceremonies. Okay. So I'm going to preface by saying that so nobody's confused when I tell you guys the song that I was listening or like hearing in my head as I was meditating over your cards here. Because in my world, one does not prevent the other. They're all tools and resources. So anyway, the song I heard was Yes, Y-E-S, and it's by Shekinah Glory. If you've never heard of the song, I implore you to take a second to pull it up on YouTube or Apple Music. It's on Apple Music. It's on my playlist. I heard that song and playing, like it was in my head, and it was just like the chorus of that song was just like over and over again as I was thinking about what I'm supposed to be saying to you guys here in this reading, in this message. And Divine Feminine, I have to tell you guys that a lot of you guys are in your own way, and I want you guys so much to just sit down, just step aside and just say yes to Spirit. Say yes to opening yourself up to, sorry about the car, just saying yes and opening yourself up to the process, opening yourself up to what you're really meant to be, what you're really meant to experience and explore. Some of you guys are closing yourself off to so many opportunities, whether it's in career, whether it's in the name of love, whether it's in the name of family. You're closing yourself off, and we're going to talk about it here, but I just want you guys to kind of keep in mind that the tone in which this reading is basically that song. Just picture that song playing in the background. I obviously can't put it in the background of this video for copyright reasons, but anyway, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and just jump into the video though. So, Yeah, so the first card that had came out initially was the King of Cups. All right. And also, I'm using Modern Witch Tarot, by the way. But the King of Cups came out. And this is a card that represents emotional stability. Okay? It represents balance between the heart and the mind. It's the beautiful marriage of, and it's the product of a beautiful marriage between the heart and the mind when they come together and they're equal, when both parts are considered. This card also represents wise counsel. It represents being able to lead, or leadership, and particularly when it comes to people and the emotions that people come with. You know, I see you guys being someone that is able to be a shoulder for other people to lean on, to be a source for people to come to when they are confused or need help or guidance. People see you as being very wise. And that comes with a lot of responsibilities. Here we have Ten of Wands as the next card that had came out during this meditation process. Ten of Wands came out. Ten of Wands represents responsibilities, but almost a sense of like being burdened with responsibilities, but still continuing. To me, this card represents for you guys finishing out a race of sorts. The last stretch, that last leg of that race. You ever see anybody, you know, in track and field and the runners are running that last straightaway? And that's the time when they just kind of give it their all. They go full force, 110%. You know, it's like you preserve a little bit of your energy throughout the beginning and the middle of the race, but by the end, that last tail of that race, that's when that, if you ever pay attention, if you're ever there, mind you can feel it, because that's when you see every single runner, as soon as they round that corner, just any fuel that has been left on reserve is pushed out, and they are running with their hearts now. And I feel like that is a very symbolic message for you guys right now in the time of your life, Divine Feminine. I feel like some of you guys are on that stretch, that last leg. Some of you guys are being required to give that last bit of energy that you've had on reserve. You're being required to give that last bit of energy. Why? Because Death card then came out. Divine Feminine, Death card came out, and this is a card that represents transformation. It represents the end and a beginning at the same time. But you know, one of the things that I love about this card, this is arguably one of my favorite cards in the tarot deck. One, because it's grossly misunderstood and misread. And two, because of what I think it represents in just about every single reading it represents. Death card represents the ability and the art of remembering what this all is. Now I'm going to take you somewhere for a second. Bear with me. Because there are multiple movies that actually reference the same concept or theory. But imagine if this was all just a game. You know? I know some of you guys have probably heard the concept simulation theory, but just humor me for a second. The only thing in this life that is certain, the only thing in this life that we can just rest assured we will most definitely experience is literal croaking or death. That's the only thing that is promised to every single one of us. It does not discriminate. It does not care what you look like. It doesn't care what your skin color is, how much money you have in the bank, who you know. When death calls, it comes. And I think knowing that that's the only thing that's really promised, and knowing that between the time of life and death, all we have in the middle are experiences and memories, it reminds us to continue on, to continue pressing on, to get to the next page. Because sitting and sulking or sitting too long and thinking about the past or worrying about the future prevents you from being in the now, which is the most important thing. It's the most important thing because right now is where the experiences are. Right now are where the memories are created. Death card in your reading is reminding you to remember that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, there's life and there's death, and then everything in the middle, everything in between is choice. You don't take anything in the middle with you except experiences. It's the only thing you take with you. So you being caught up in he say, she say, you being caught up in, well, he hurt my feelings and she was talking about me. You being caught up in the rat race that they are trying to make you feel like is more important than anything, and it's not. You're forgetting who you are. You're forgetting what you're able to do. You're forgetting your ability as a creator to manifest. You're forgetting to be fearless. Strength card comes in for that. It's a reminder card. Strength card represents the ability to have dominion and power over what would, for most people, be feared. You know, it's like you can see her. She's sitting next to a lion. She actually is, softly caressing the lion. And it's like, who the hell is out here softly caressing lions? Most people are not going to do that. Why? Because we are taught to be afraid of lions. My argument here, though, is just because we're taught that and just because we see how vicious lions can be, does that necessarily mean that we should be afraid? Or does it more so represent a lot of area that we just don't know and understand? Because lions don't attack everybody. In fact, we as humans are more likely to be out of sync with nature than a lion is. And if we would just get back in tune with nature and back in tune with our bodies, there's an ability there to coexist with these creatures, with these predators, without living in fear. Now that's a symbol of what I'm talking about. It's a metaphor. I'm not talking literally go, obviously, and play with lions, but I'm saying, what does that lion represent for you? Does that lion represent your job, your dead-end job that you hate so much, but you're afraid to leave because of what other people may think or the adverse actions and how that may look, your status? What is it? Is this lion your dead-end relationship that you know is not going anywhere, but you're afraid of leaving because that's all you've ever known, and so you're preventing yourself from having dominion over that fear, stepping over it and walking into abundance, walking into real love, true love, the love that allows you and another person to catapult yourselves to a whole different reality where all you see is each other. And you tell yourself those things can't exist because the thought that it does and that you are unable to reach that place because you are afraid is so overwhelmingly depressing. I absolutely love the song Yes by Shekinah Glory because it speaks on being allowing. It speaks on being submissive to your purpose, being submissive to what your heart is saying. It's not always going to be logical, Divine Feminine. I know we try to make things as logical as possible to prevent ourselves from being hurt, to prevent ourselves from going through struggle. But see, the thing is, you've already been through struggle. Ten of Wands is showing us that. You've already been through it and you made it out. You're making it out. You're on that last stretch. So you thinking you're going to avoid more, and really what you're doing is prolonging your success because of fear. When really the answer is just to say yes. It's to be open. It's to say, okay, Spirit, I will trust you. I will follow what my heart is telling me to do. The only thing The only thing that is true failure, because some of you guys are worried about failing. Some of you guys are worried about being a failure. The only thing that you can fail at is refusing to follow your heart. To refuse something is a choice. To refuse something means that you have decided adamantly that you are not going to do something. That's a refusal. And I want you guys to understand the weight and magnitude of what you're refusing to do out of an election of fear. An elected fear. Meaning, an elected means chosen. You chose fear over your destiny. When really, and I said this in another reading, but I'm going to say it again. A lot of times, divine feminine, the thing that we fear the most is the thing that we're probably supposed to be walking towards. There's a reason we fear it. The fear that's coming out is ego trying to protect you. But ego doesn't always have our best interests. Ego oftentimes gets us in trouble. And that's why I think the first card that came out was the most important card, even though it's not major arcana. It's the most important card for you because it's a people card. It's who you're supposed to be right now. This last stretch, you're supposed to be the King of Cups. You're supposed to be wise. You're supposed to be in tune with your intuition. You're supposed to be able to have that emotional stability. And emotional stability is not you not having the fear at all, because we're people. We're not perfect. But your emotional stability is the ability to see the fear and say, you know what? I'm not going to let that prevent me from moving forward. Emotional stability is saying, I'm going to take on the courage. I'm going to take on courage. I'm going to reach down and find that courage that's nestled in the middle of my chest. I'm going to find that, bring that out, and cover myself over that as I continue this last stretch, because divine feminine, you're almost there. You're almost there. You're in the last stretch. You're focusing so much on what's already happened that you're not here. You're not in the present. You're not realizing how close you are to completion. How this new beginning that's waiting for you it's so close. But you'll never see that because you're looking back and you're focusing on how much you had to go through. And I get it, you're tired, you're worn, you're upset. I get emotions. That's what we're talking about here, emotions. And where are your emotions at? If you consider yourself an emotionally stable person, this reading is not for you. But if you clicked on this reading, and what I'm saying is touching your ears and it's resonating, it's settling, you feel any amount of conviction, any part of you is like, damn, you know, that she has a point. I need to focus on that. I implore you. This song, yes, it's a Christian song. However, I don't allow titles to prevent me from receiving my blessings however which way they come. And I don't want you to do that as well. So even if you don't believe in God in the sense of what a church would explain and describe God is, you don't have to. You don't have to. Stop allowing other people to define your reality. Stop doing that shit. You listen to what you want to listen to. You listen to what makes you feel good. But, like I said before, if any part of you is convicted, I challenge you to sit down and listen to the song. And listen to the song and remember the message that I gave here today. And allow Spirit to pour into you. Allow Spirit to work over you. So that is my reading, Divine Feminine. I hope this reading hit home with some of you guys. I hope that there was something that was received from what I said. I come on here always with the intent and purpose of providing insight, clarity, and guidance. So I hope I did that today. If you like this kind of message, if you like the readings I do here on this channel, if you like this specific type, and this is something you want to see more, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. And I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I will see every single one of you beautiful, divine, feminine beings in my next video. Okay? Bye, guys.